A very good afternoon to all our delegates who have joined us live for the second Green Champions India edition. We welcome you once again, and this session we have a very interesting guest with us. He's Mr. Aman Shrivastav, Senior Global Manager ESG and Sustainability, Amneal Pharmaceuticals. Aman Shrivastav is the Senior Global Manager at ESG and Sustainable at Amneal Pharmaceutical, driving team across India, US, and Ireland to build ESG and global reporting programs. Formerly leading ESG and CSR at Sensora, he has designed and implemented impactful sustainability strategies aligned with international frameworks. Aman has expertise in driving corporate sustainability and CSR initiatives across global operations. He has a rich experience of working with industry giants like Tata Group, Aditya Birla Group, Accenture. Aman has led the worked with teams across the globe and successfully implemented ESG programs, which has helped companies build sustainable business and achieve business excellence. So we welcome you, Mr. Aman Srivastava. Thank you so much for taking out time and coming with us for the second Green Champions.
Thank you, Mayank. I'm very happy to be here and you joining everybody. Uh, let's make this more interactive and let's make this more open.
Absolutely. Before we start the
Yeah,
session, I would request all our audience, if you have any kind of questions, you can put it in the comments box on the virtual platform, or you can also put it in the comment box across our social media platform where we are going live right now, which is LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. We will start with the session straight away now. So, just to start with, when you think about the future of business in today's rapidly changing world, what does future proofing through sustainability personally mean to you? And why do you think it matters now more even than before?
yeah, Mayank, I think that's a very good question. I think the world around us is changing very fast, and every day, the businesses are facing new challenges. They are at a stage, where they can't ignore sustainability, because if they ignore it, they would be very vulnerable economically, reputationally, and even operationally. So we are not just competing in market; we are competing with fragile ecosystem, and environment regulations are getting tougher day by day. Investors are asking for more responsibility. So the future proofing through sustainability is the only chance through which business could survive in a long term, and they build their own immune system against all these external factors which are changing very rapidly.
Absolutely, absolutely. Very well said. Pharmaceutical industry, when it comes to India, is one of the biggest industries so far, and that has been one of India's forte as well in the international market. Considering that, what are the most meaningful sustainability challenges and opportunities specific to the pharmaceutical industry today?
Yeah. So pharma is a very big part of especially Indian manufacturing setup. So I think over around 70% of the total medicines of the world are manufactured here. So we are also very big part of the global pharma supply chain system. And if you consider pharma, pharma. Especially chemical synthesis, clean rooms, and purification consume large amount of energy, and I think healthcare industry is approximately responsible for 5% of the global emissions. So this is one of the biggest challenge, because we contribute to so much greenhouse gas emissions to the environment. So managing it is also become sector responsibility, and also with the businesses owners, it this responsibility lies. But overall sector responsibility is also there, and there is lots of issues around what we see in day to day operations, that there are some manufacturing units which are not properly disposing their waste and wastewater, so that's causing a lot of trouble, where they are polluting our ecosystem, they are polluting our rivers, our streams. So that is something which needs to be be more focused, and even our government is taking this seriously. There are very serious regulations which government has come up. Every so all the farmers have to come up to a global standard in manufacturing. There are lots of audits which are happening around. So yeah, this is something which is the industry is also coping up. uh, one of the coming up challenges is what we are going to do with our circular economy and our supply chains, how we are making sure that, because pharma has such a huge and diverse supply chain, how we are making sure that, our supply chains are resilient and there is no human rights abuse, and how we make sure that we, produce more locally and consume more locally. And also at last there's a issue of circularity, how we build so many medicines, and so much of packaging is used, so and all that packaging goes into environment, right?
True.
And there is no take back mechanism till now with that we have seen. So what we are doing for that circularity, that is also a big issue.
Absolutely, absolutely. Specifically talking about Amneal Pharmaceuticals, I mean, we have grown over the years, and of course, since you are one of the ESG and sustainability person who's handling the overall sustainability factors, what could have been some of the interesting initiatives that your organization have taken, which might have a tangible impact on either the environmental, social, or economical issues?
Yeah. So I think Amneal is currently focusing on all the three criteria: environmental, social, and governance. But historically, Amneal has believed, this is also our CEOs Chintu Patel and Chirag Patel. They are a very big believer of, making medicine more affordable and accessible to everybody. So we are doing a lot of work around that. So we are doing large scale free medication donation programs. Till now we have donated around 20 million doses through various partnership of like dispensaries and the various NGOs in US and India. And we are also very focused on, people who are affected by Parkinson disease and MS disease, because this is such a deadly disease. It progresses so fast, and it just destroys your quality of life. So we are especially focusing on those patients. We are working with them. We are raising over 1.5 million in 2025 alone. So to support these communities, facilitate patient education and community events. So this is one big commitment which Amneal has towards the community. We have also developed, a very comprehensive environment management systems to identify and, remove any kind of negative impacts for the environment. We have developed very good governance systems, policies, to prevent any human right abuse in our organization and also down the supply chain. So we are running programs globally to improve our efficiency, in our production units. We are switching to modern equipment. We are integrating smart metering, and we are also switching our fuels from biomass, from coal to biomass, to produce more green and more clean. So this is a, overall approach that we are taking to build a responsible business. Currently we have undertaken a human right risk assessment and climate and nature risk assessment, to see that, which are our sites, which are our suppliers, which areas are there, where which can be affected by human right abuse, and also to identify, which our sites are affected by climate change and, any of the nature risk that are present there. So we are integrating a comprehensive approach, and it is helping us a lot to build a sustainable business for the future.
Absolutely, very well said. Moving forward, how do you see sustainability evolving as a business value beyond compliances? Of course, that something comes quite naturally, and particularly when it comes to the global healthcare manufacturing.
Yeah, so I think sustainability is now become a competitive advantage. It's no longer a part of our compliance. So compliance is something which, most of the peers, so most of the companies are doing nowadays. There is so much of visibility through social media and media, that, it has become necessary for everybody to meet the regulatory compliance. But Sustainability is beyond compliance. Sustainability how is how you integrate your people, your suppliers, your vendors, your stakeholders, how you work with them to produce clean, to produce green, to have more resource efficiency, to integrate circularity. So all this is going to give you a competitive advantage in the long term. It will help you to create a resilient business. So we have seen that, companies which have very high sustainability quotient, when there were 2008 economic crisis, or when there were, COVID-19 crisis, they performed much better than the peers who did not integrate sustainability. So
True.
that's how it's going to give you an advantage over a long term.
Very well said. Again, another important question is that you have just mentioned that you have changed your practices to a more greener practices to go with, like use of the biogas, as you mentioned. Uh,
Yeah.
Particularly in your understanding, what is the role of innovation and R&D in basically applying a more greener or more sustainable pharmaceutical products or processes?
Yes, absolutely. This is, innovation and R&D sits as the base of pharma. Whether
Mhm.
we are developing drugs, or we are developing new products, or we are uh, doing a green manufacturing, or we are creating a more sustainable supply chain. So innovation and R&D sits at the heart of everything that we do at the pharma sectors. There are green chemistry and process innovations that are happening, like biocatalyst, solvent recycling, everything, continuous manufacturing, where all the products and all the innovative research is allowing companies to reduce lot of waste, emission, and their water use. It will also help you, for your regulatory affairs.
Mhm.
It will have a lot of market R&D, market advantage. There are a lot of AI driven modeling that is happening in R&D that helps you to produce lot in a very less time, in a more greener way, and it also helps you to integrate design, integrate circularity in your design stages. So the use of AI is also, something which is seen a game changer in pharma industry. And it will also help you to have a product that will have a good end of use life cycle. So if suppose you're not using a tablet which is expired, if you are just disposing it to the environment, it can affect your water streams. It can affect people, or any animals who can eat it afterwards. So if you are making medicines which are self biodegradable, using green chemistry, it's also very helpful for the environment, and it's much safer for the society also.
Wonderful. Just to understand, so basically from the scratch of an R&D to the final execution of preparing the pharmaceutical medicines, there are a lot of vendors which are associated with you, right, from the start till the end, in the life cycle
Yeah.
of the whole pharmaceutical production. So understanding
Yeah.
that at Indian Loyalty Association, we always promote spreading loyalty programs and rewards for the good works that people do in an industry. Uh,
Yeah.
considering that, considering that the whole supply chain, the whole process which you basically
Sorry,
follow,
Mayank, I lost you.
yeah, is it better now? Yeah. So Aman is back now. So Aman, just wanted to
Yeah.
ask you that, as I mentioned, in each level of production, specifically the product life cycle of starting a particular pharmaceutical product to finally getting it to the consumers, you have a lot of people in that process, specifically the vendors per se. What kind of rewards do you provide them to ensure that they also start practicing more greener practices over the years? And how do you think it's more impactful in terms of motivating them to be more to adopt more greener practices?
Yeah. So, supply chains and sustainability and vendor management is a completely different and separate set of topic on which we work. If we focus single-handedly on this, we have around more than 400 plus vendors in our supply chain,
Mhm.
And there are big vendors, there are small vendors, there are very very small vendors. So you can't expect the same standard from everybody, but what we do is we have a supplier code of conduct. So we encourage our vendors to go through our supplier code of conduct so they can see
Wonderful.
that what code we are following, and we expect our partners to follow them. So if there is a human right abuse in their facility, uh, we may terminate the contract with them. So this is also possible if we see any kind of abuse or any kind of environment negative impact from them. So because they are our vendors, they are directly associated with us, and so they also have to take that responsibility with us and move forward with us. We do a lot of vendor audits. We ask from vendors what they are doing in terms of ESG, what are their programs, what are their policies, especially the big vendors who are very very capable, and who have a greater responsibility in terms of size. So we have identified our big vendors, and we are working for them. And if we see that any vendor is lacking, he needs any kind of hand holding, training, any help from our side, me and our team are always there and to do that hand holding and training to our vendors. And in the coming days we are also trying to uh, put the program to integrate some intensive incentives in the program for the vendors who perform well on sustainability. So yeah, this is a program we are building with our suppliers, and it's a long running program, and it will have its impact late in the later stages.
Wonderful. Again, another important question is that government has taken a lot of initiatives in terms of ensuring that we have a more sustainable environment. There are many policies which you have actually must have read through or gone through, and you might have approved a lot of these policies which you feel that these are the best practices that industry should follow, and there might be certain red flags also which you would like to raise. Anything which comes to your mind which you think this could have been done, if this could have been done, things would have been much better. Anything which comes to your mind?
For the pharma sector you are asking, or
Yes,
for
specifically
Amneal?
specifically for the pharma sector in general.
In general for the farmer. So yeah, I think there are a lot that can be done with respect to sector. I think one of the things that we see very voluntary pharma organizations are doing is disclosing their CO2 content, but there are still a lot of companies who don't do that. And if the policy makers can make it mandatory, so that all the companies display their greenhouse gases, engage with their suppliers down the value chain. So we see a lot of big pharma companies and reputed pharma companies are doing that, but there are also very small pharma companies uh, who can do that in the long term, and they can better manage their resources around it. And they can also, what companies every company should do is
Mhm.
incentivize sustainability. So if there are cross teams functioning, there are single champions in your plants who are
Yeah,
doing on work on sustainability, who are doing good work on energy saving, water saving, and you should start incentivize them, start giving them some kind of rewards or appreciation. So this would build a more cultural, a more sustainable culture in your organization, and it will also help you to have those goals achieved in a little time.
wonderful, wonderful. I think that's very very important. You made a really good point with
Yeah,
that. And
yeah.
what do you think? What kind of industry collaboration or partnerships is required as of now to have a comparatively wider ecosystem in terms of getting a more scalable impact when it comes to sustainability?
Yeah, so there are a lot of organizations, PSCI and Indian Pharma Manufacturer Association. So there are a lot of organizations who are
Mhm.
trying to create a symbiosis in the industry in terms of policy, in terms of advocacy, in terms of, so PSCI is something that they really push the sustainability agenda in the companies. And a lot of big companies GSK, Novartis, they are also part of PSCI, and they, anybody who's part of PSCI should ask their partners to follow the PSCI guidelines, which are very rigid on sustainability. So yeah, a lot of work is being done. I think a lot of policy advocacy still needs to be done. So for example, I'll give you an example. If we adopt a recyclable packaging, there may
Mhm.
be some cost involved, and there may be some cost which is going to increase, and I don't think customer would mind paying us some small cost for a recyclable packaging, because that will help save the environment, and major part
True.
of the cost would be bear by the companies. But this should happen across the sector. Government should make it mandatory that everybody should have recyclable packaging, because if I am investing in recyclable packaging and my peer is not investing, he's keeping the rates low, he's selling more, he certainly has a business advantage over me. So this kind of policy advocacy is needed with government, within the sector. Voluntary disclosures are always there, but there should be more disclosure from the sector on their, especially on GHG emission, because climate change is such a big issue for everyone. uh, yes, a lot of innovation and R&D can happen if all the companies come together and pool their resources. So that is also something which inside the sector we are looking forward to in the future.
Absolutely. Aman, another important question is that when you manufacture a certain set of medicines, they have a lifespan, of course. They get expired after a particular period of time. What is the way you normally dispose them? Is it a more eco-friendly way, or how you do it normally?
So one of the ways that it is disposed is it goes to cement kilns, where the
Okay.
temperature is so high that everything burns up. And it is the one of the most safest way, because I have also worked in the cement industry, and I know
Wow.
one of the most safest way to, especially in India, they do that. A lot of companies also take it back, and they have authorized recyclers who who dispose it, not recyclers who are disposers who have license to
Yeah,
dispose it.
that's it.
So
Mhm.
so we companies can choose their own route. But if a consumer, if me and you, we have expired medicine, what we do, we just throw it in the garbage, right?
Yes.
We don't
Yes.
know how to do it, and that's where the risk is there. That thing goes into the landfill, or we don't know, into rivers, and there are antibiotics that are, and that is something that like you said in your previous question, whole sector has to come together to have that take back program. So if there is any medicine, maybe there can be disposal centers in the pharmacy or something, where people
Very
can
true.
just go
Perfect.
and drop their medicine, so it does not
I
go
was,
into environment
I
and
was
harms people. So this is something which we can look forward in the future.
Yeah, I was coming to that question itself. So basically, I personally feel that in most of the household, you'll find a lot of medicines which are unused, which might have not
Yeah,
expired, but it is not being utilized. And honestly speaking, we have no idea what to do with that. We normally keep it with us only. If we could
yeah,
have
yeah,
some, this practice was initially started, but have really not gone that far. I believe that all the medical shops that are available in and around our residential areas, they should have a drop box which basically allow you to put in these medicines which still have some life left, so that they can be
yeah,
utilized or given to people who are really not able to buy those medicines for some or the other reasons. So it is meant for a purpose, it is meant for a good purpose. At the same time, it is getting utilized. And of course, you made a very valid point. There has to be a disposable box as well, where you can put those expired medicines also, which can be
yeah,
disposed in more economical, or not economical, but a eco-friendly fashion, and something which is not going
yes,
to harm the environment at all. Very well said. I think we'll take an interesting last question, which says, looking towards 2030, what is one bold shift or strategic change you believe every business should consider to stay resilient and sustainable?
I think there are a few basic things which everybody can integrate in their system. One is having their reporting on some sustainability parameters. There are lots of international standards, GRI, BRSR in India. There are a lot of international standards also, like EcoVadis, CDP, where you can go and just see what are the standards you have to report in. So any one of them can be adopted, and just start reporting. When you start reporting, you will see that there is a lot of data you have never seen. So I remember first time I showed my CEO the data of carbon, energy, water, and he said, Aman, nobody showed me this data before. This is very interesting. I never knew that we could do so much change in our business. So this is also a job of the sustainability teams and sustainability leaders across the sector to do that. Just start adopting a transparent reporting system. The second thing is that they can do is invest in their human capital. uh, Train your people, make them more
Mhm.
aware. It's not just job of the CEOs and the sustainability teams to be sustainable every single effort. So I have trained my employees in how to manage your wastewater from your RO, how to you manage in their daily life routines also. They become an ambassador of sustainability when they go out. So this is also very helpful. And the last thing is the board oversight. I think every board should have a biannual oversight meeting of how their companies are performing on sustainability parameters. So this is
Perfect.
also, these are few key areas which will help you survive for a long, integrate sustainability in your systems, and be future ready and future proof.
Absolutely. And of course, we had a wonderful discussion. Honestly, there are a lot of key takeaways from the discussion we had. Any particular concluding remarks for the discussion we had today?
Uh, yeah, I think this has been a very interesting discussion with you, Mayank. Thank you for inviting me to this discussion. I think we in pharma sector is something that India takes proud of, uh, because we are the greatest producer of pharma in the world, and you know. This is also a very modernized sector. If you see the plants and machinery, this is also very very modernized. There are very modernized system that we have already adopted, and a lot of collaboration is happening between the government and the companies. But yeah, there is a lot of things that we can do, especially like we discussed, the buyback, or sorry, the how we treat discarded medicines,
Yeah.
expired medicine from the household. There can be system on this. uh, how we reduce our greenhouse emission, and integrate AI and green chemistry into manufacturing. That is also
Mhm.
something that you can be done. And how we integrate eco-friendly packaging, because if
Mhm.
you use the medicine, you will discard the packaging, and there is a lot of packaging also that is being discarded, and which is not always reusable. So
Yeah.
that is also something which we need to pay attention on. But yeah, I see bright future for pharma sector.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Aman, for your time. We really appreciate. And on behalf of Indian Loyalty Association, we thank you for giving such valuable inputs to our audience. And once again, for if anybody has any kind of questions with regarding this particular session we had, please feel free to put it in the comment box. We'll definitely share it with Aman and try to get some answers for the same itself. And you can also put your comments in the comment box, and we can definitely revert to that too. So thank you once again, Aman, and we really look forward to meeting you in person and hosting one of these same sessions again.
Thank you, Mayank. Have a good day.
You too. Cheers. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.